No sound. No sound.
Venu, you're in mute.
Prabhu, you're muted. Venu Gopal, Prabhu, you're muted. Mataji, please let him.
Not audible.
He's doing prayers, right? Please be patient. No?
Venu Gopal Prabhuji is not audible. Your mic is mute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You are muted, Prabhuji. Voice is not coming, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, voice is coming.
Check. Okay. Anyway, Mangala Charanam is before it is muted. Without Hare Krishna, I welcome all of you for the today's Bhakti Prakārāḥ. We are discussing from Srimad Bhakti Sundarbha, Sri Bhakti Sundarbha, from Anucheda number 216 to 233. So yesterday we have discussed this already, the definition. What is Lakshana? We discussed. And also what kind of precautions we should take while preparing the Lakshana for any object. That means there are the possible defects are there. So how to avoid those defects. So that also we discussed, because we should select to define any object such a characteristic which is unique to that object, and so that there will be no overlapping while preparing any definition for that object. Also, there is no missing of any components or instances of that object, and also that definition should be existing. So these kind of measures has to be taken care while preparing the definition for any object. And also definition Lakshana, we have seen it is two types. So Tatastha Lakshana and Swarupa Lakshana. What is the Tatastha Lakshana? Swarupantar abhutatve sati anya itara vyavachedakam. So Tatastha Lakshana. So that means we take those characteristics or those qualities, unique qualities of that object, which are not in the Swarupa of that object, which are external to that Swarupa of that object, and we will be defining that object using that. Then it is known as Tatastha Lakshana. Similarly, if we take the qualities which are inside to the Swarupa, Swarupa antar bhutatve sati. Swarupa antar bhutatve sati itara vyavachedakam Swarupa Lakshanam. This is the definition we have seen. And also we have seen examples for the Tatastha Lakshana and the Swarupa Lakshana. So what are the examples? for the Tadasya Lakshana. For doing the Tadasya Lakshana, for example, for the Tadasya Lakshana, so a crow sitting on the Devadatta's house. This is the Tadasya Lakshana for the Devadatta's house. That house is the Devadatta's house where crow is sitting. So similarly, we have seen example. So that means that rectangular shape house is, that means there are the triangular shape, circular shape, and square shape houses are there. Let us consider there are 4 houses. And but the Devadatta's house is having the shape of rectangular. Then you can say that rectangular shape of house is the Devadatta's house. Then if you say, then this is, so the Swarupa Lakshana for that house. Okay. After this, we have also discussed Swarupa Lakshana and the Tadasya Lakshana for the absolute truth from the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1. Janmadhyasya Janmadhyasyato Anvayad Itaratascha. That means the object which is cause for the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this material world. If you define like this, then it is, so Tadasya Lakshana. Then absolute truth is that object which is Satyam or which is Gnanam, which is Satyam and Gnanam. Then that is, so Swarupa Lakshana, we have seen. So why we are understanding the Swarupa Lakshana and Tadasya Lakshana? Just to understand the definition of the Bhakti. So today we will be discussing about the definition of the Bhakti, and also we will be discussing the 3 types of the Bhakti, basic classification of the Bhakti. We can see basic classification. So then after that we will be seeing the further classification of those basic 3 things. That's Aropa Siddha Bhakti, Sangha Siddha Bhakti, and Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. So these 3 majorly Bhakti is categorized into 3. Then after that we will be seeing the further classification that we will be seeing in the further classes. Today will be first to discuss the simple actually today's class. So understanding the definition of the Bhakti. What is Bhakti? I will share my screen. So what is the definition of the Bhakti? The definition of Bhakti is discussed in Garuda Purana as follows. Vishnu Bhaktim Pravakshami Yaya Sarvamavapyate Yatha Bhaktya Hari Tushte Tatha Nanyena Kenachit. And also there is one more sloka is also defined. There are 2 slokas from the Garuda Purana. Bhaja ityesha vai dhatu sevayam parikirtitaha. Actually space is missing actually. Bhaja ityesha vai dhatus sevayam parikirtitaha. Tasmat seva budai Prokta Bhakti Sadhana Bhuyasi. This is the definition. These two slokas are conveying the definition of the bhakti according to the Garuda. So, what is the translation of these two? So, slokas will be seen now. I will speak about bhakti to Vishnu, by which everything is attained. So, next, the Lord is not pleased with anything as he is pleased by bhakti. After this sloka, so next one sloka is telling, Bhaja ityesha vai dhatuhu sevayam parikirtitaha. So the root bhaja, tasma seva budaihi prokta bhaktihi sadhana bhuyasi. What is the translation? The root bhaja means service. Therefore, why is said that bhakti means service, which prominent among sadhanas, which is prominent among sadhanas. This is the definition. Two slokas are conveying the definition. So let us see now what is the understanding. I'll just make a drawing here. See, in the first sloka, what is said? Try to understand sloka clearly. Then you can easily go through the further things. What he's saying, someone, I will speak. That means some person is saying, I will speak about bhakti to Vishnu. Bhakti to Vishnu means he will tell about bhakti to Vishnu. What is that bhakti? By which everything is attained. Yaya sarvam avapyate. What is say? He wants to tell about the bhakti. Bhakti means what he is telling? Yaya sarvam avapyate. That means yaya means by which everything is attained. So he told this. What is bhakti? He is telling that by which everything is attained. And one more point is saying the Lord is not pleased with anything as he is pleased by bhakti. It means Lord is pleased by bhakti. So the way he pleased by the bhakti, so like that he will not pleased by any other ways, by any other means. Okay, this sloka is clear for you. Now next, second sloka we see. Bhaja ityesha vai dhatuhu. Maybe most of the devotees may not have some understanding on the Sanskrit language. Just I am giving a little background. So if you see in Sanskrit, actually words are there. Verbs. Maybe most of the people might be knowing gachati. Gachati means he goes. Gachati, what is there? So this is a verb actually. Example, this is a verb. This verb is made from where? From the dhatu. Dhatu means root actually. It is prepared from the root. Gamalru dhatu. So this is the dhatu. So gam dhatu is taken, and so this gachati word is prepared. So verbs also prepared, and by using the dhatus, you can prepare krudantas. Even you can prepare the nouns also. You can prepare nouns also. Nouns also prepared from dhatu. From dhatus. Okay. So this is example for the verb, preparing verb from the dhatu gam, gachati. Similarly, verbs also we can prepare. Nouns also you can prepare. So here, example, you can take bhakti is a noun actually. Bhakti is a noun. So this noun word is prepared from where? There is a dhatu is there, root is there. What is the root for the bhakti? Bhaja. Bhaja is the root. Every dhatu is having the meaning. For example, gamalru. So it is having the, what is the meaning? Gamane. The meaning of gamalru dhatu is gamane. Gamane means, meaning is going. Gamalru dhatu having the meaning of what? Going. Gamane is a Sanskrit, and in English, going. Similarly, bhakti word, or as it is known, is prepared from the root bhaja. What is the meaning of bhaja? Bhaja means seva, sevayam. Bhaja. The meaning of bhaja is sevayam, means service. So bhakti word is prepared from bhaja, dhatu, the root word bhaja, where that root word is having the meaning of what? Sevayam, means service. Okay. So this is the point you said. You can see there in bhaja iti esha vai dhatuhu sevayam prakirtitaha. That means the root bhaja means service. Tasmat, therefore, seva budaihi prokta bhaktihi. So that's why in wise people, what they said bhakti means? They said bhakti means service. Why? Because the word bhakti is prepared from the bhajadhatu, and where the bhajadhatu is holding the meaning of service. So this is another thing which is prominent among the sadhanas, means this bhakti is the best among all the sadhanas. Sadhana bhuyasi means bhakti is best among all sadhanas. So now, this is the definition of the bhakti. In these two slokas, bhakti is defined. So we should try to understand now what is the Sarupa Lakshana and what is the Tatastha Lakshana. So because if you want to define any object, sometimes you can give Sarupa Lakshana of that object also, and also Tatastha Lakshana of that object also. Like example, while Vasudev is glorifying or paying obeisances or paying his respect to the absolute truth in the first sloka, he gave the Sarupa Lakshana of that absolute truth. Also, he gave the Tatastha Lakshana. Here also in this Garuda Purana, we are seeing in these two slokas, Sarupa Lakshana also is there and Tatastha Lakshana also is there. So that we have to identify. Can anyone guess what is the Sarupa Lakshana and what is the in this? So from these lines, from this definition of the Garuda Purana, can you guess what is the Sarupa Lakshana for Bhakti? I have broken the sloka meaning, and I told to you, I explained. Based upon this explanation, if you guess, so this is the Sarupa Lakshana for the Bhakti, and this is the Tatastha Lakshana for the Bhakti, it will be nice. So please raise the hands, and I will select. some students. Okay, we'll take from new people actually. Nityananda Priya Prabhu. We'll try here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Many are old students who knows very much. That's why I'm not taking the yeah, Nityananda Priya Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. I guess Swarup Lakshana will be service. Bhakti means service, and Tatastana will be everything which is attained. That will be Tatastha Lakshana.
Okay. Anyway, it's already written. That's why I think. So why you have taken? You have to explain now.
Because the intrinsic nature of bhakti is like seva. Because the root is from bhaja, and bhaja means seva. So because of that, I thought it will be Swarup Lakshana. And Tatastha, I thought because it's outer, because we are attaining everything else. That could be the reason. I thought that.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for your try. So we'll ask the explanations. Explanation from the. So yes, you told rightly. So now I want the right explanation for this. That means, so why yaya sarvam avapyate, by which everything is attained. This is the Tadastha Lakshana for the bhakti, and service is the Swarupa Lakshana for the bhakti. So it is fact actually. It is the right answer. Now why? This is the question. So I already explained what is Tatastha Lakshana and what is Swarupa Lakshana. Based upon that, so I will take 2-3 devotees and try to see their answers. Okay. And Rambhadra Priya Prabhu. Okay.
By which everything is attained, is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. There is no other thing except, you need not attain anything else that fits in the Tatastha Lakshan. And Anushilanam is, the Swarup Lakshan. So Seva is Anushilanam. So that's how you can correlate.
Okay, Prabhu. So, yeah, you tried, but Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Yaya Sarvam Avapyate is equal to Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Okay, it is, yeah, you have to think of this. No, actually, Anyabhilashta Sunya means not desiring no other motivation. So one is doing the bhakti for only sake of bhakti. So that is the Anyabhilashta Sunya. But here, what is said, by which everything is attained. That means whatever you want, even material gain, moksha, everything is attained. So that is the meaning. Actually. Okay, we'll take others. Okay. So thank you for it. Right. So okay, Sudevi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. So Prabhuji, the main thing you said to identify whether it is a Tatastha Lakshana is it should be external to the thing which we are discussed. So here bhakti is being discussed, and it is mentioned that you can attain everything from bhakti. So it is you can attain everything which is external to bhakti as well. So like liberation or any other benefits, they come as a side effect of bhakti, but so they are external to bhakti. So bhakti is the main thing which is being talked about, and others are external. So that is the main qualification of something to be considered as a Tatastha. So that's why the first part is the Tatastha Lakshana, and the second part.
No, you are saying no, Madhuri. So what is external actually here?
That which is everything is attained by bhakti, by which everything is attained, it is mentioned. Bhakti to Vishnu, by which everything is attained. So by which everything is attained is the you can say that it's the outcome of doing bhakti, or it's a side effect of doing bhakti. Whereas the second part talks about the bhaja. Bhaja, bhakti means service. So service is embedded in bhakti. That means when you do service, that is actually bhakti. So it is intrinsic.
Yes,
so it is Swarupa.
Good try. Actually. So Jai Gopinath Prabhu, you want to add something at this point?
The second part is right, because bhaja, which is service, is bhakti. So that is very much okay. The first part, by which everything is attained. Here, everything is not only mentioning the service, but also liberation, also swarga, also any other result by anyone which is not the intrinsic part of the Supreme Lord. So, or bhakti. That is considered as a tadasha. Tadasha means which is not intrinsic to the object.
Yes.
So in that sense, it is.
Yes. Okay, so good try actually both. You all tried very nicely. Yeah. So let me explain a little bit. Yes, that is right. Almost all rightly you all said. Sarupa Lakshana is, so this is, let us take, this is bhakti, object bhakti, and it is comprised, or it is embedded with what? It is comprised of service actually. So because the word bhakti is coming from the root bhaja, and bhaja is having the meaning of service. So that's why service, the activity service, like example, hearing the holy name or chanting the holy name. This is the activity. So this activity is nothing but service. And this is what? This is the swarupa of the bhakti. So that's why, so service is nothing but what? Activity. So is the swarupa lakshana of the bhakti. Because it is intrinsic, or otherwise it is, bhakti is nothing but embedded. In bhakti, what is embedded actually? Service. So that's why it is a swarupa lakshana. If you define bhakti as service, then it will be becoming the swarupa lakshana. And by which everything is attained. If you say like this, by which everything is attained, then what will happen? This is bhakti, and you perform this. Yeah, you perform this bhakti, then from this something is coming.
Tadastha Lakshanam.
So getting something, this is also quality of the bhakti only. But that quality is not the intrinsic to the, or it is not the in the swarupa of the bhakti. Because if something, that means what is the swarupa? Service is the swarupa. So by doing that, some product is coming. That is the something swarga or something, that means moksha and so and so things. So those are all, that means bhakti is giving this. Because these are all there, and being giver of this, so you are identifying here bhakti as a giver of these things. You are not identifying bhakti is intrinsic nature. Just you are identifying so bhakti as a giver of something external to that. And so that's why this is what, this is the, this quality also belongs to bhakti, but it with reference to, so giving this object. So that's why that quality is also belong to bhakti. Otherwise, if it is not belong to the bhakti, that quality is not belong to the bhakti. So you cannot say, so this is definition for the bhakti. You always take the qualities related to the bhakti only. Like example, in the yesterday's class, this is Devadatta's house. So crow is sitting on this house only, na? That means sitting of the crow. This is also one of the quality. So belong to the this building only, but that quality is not to the in the swarupa of the building. So similarly, example, there is a one person is there and he is a prime minister. So he is a prime minister. If you say, that means there is a kingdom, there is a country is there. For this country, he is a prime minister. So there are thousands of millions of people are there. Now, for example, Narendra Modi is there. So Narendra Modi, if you, how you define? So the person who is the prime minister is Narendra Modi. If you define like this is Swarupa Lakshanam or the Tadasa Lakshanam. So he is the prime minister. He is the prime minister. That qualities belong to the him only. Prime ministership is belong to him only, but that quality is coming with reference to whom? With reference to this country, it is coming. So when till the time he is in the post, then prime ministership is belonging to him. That qualities belong to him, and that can help to differentiate this person so from the all other people in this whole country. Yes, but that prime ministership is coming only for some time. So similarly, bhakti is coming. Bhakti is getting the quality of giving everything. So with reference to this external thing. So, but that is not the Swarupa. That is not in the Swarupa of the Bhakti. Swarupa in the Bhakti, what is there? Service only. So, but if you define, so Narendra Modi as he is having this kind of face and this kind of lengthy hands and this kind of body and this, then this will be what? This will be the Swarupa Lakshanam for him. And if you define the person who is prime minister is the Narendra Modi, then that is the with reference to that is also belong to him, but that is not internal to his Swarupa. Okay, so like this, Yaya Sarvam Avapyate, by which everything is attained. This is Tatastha Lakshanam, and service is the Swarupa Lakshanam. Now we will continue our discussion. So whether these definitions are are free from those three defects, Ativyapti, Avyapti, and Asambhava doshas, that we have to check. So first of all, take the Yaya Sarvam Avapyate. We define bhakti as what? By which everything is attained. This is true or not? This is true. You can see in the second canto, third sloka, second canto, third chapter, 10th sloka. Akama sarvakamova mokshakama udaradihi tivrena bhaktiyena yajeta purusham param. You all know the context. So in that second canto, third chapter, Sukadeva Goswami is explaining the various results attained by worshipping the various different demigods. So by worshipping the Indra, one will be getting the rains, and by worshipping the Shiva, one will be getting this, that, like that. And finally, what he is saying, by worshipping Vishnu, one can get the everything. Whatever akama, sarvakama means whatever are the different things are mentioned in the previous slokas. This is the 10th sloka from the, if you see in the chapter from the beginning. So there is various things, material gains we are seeing from the various different demigods worship. So all those different results or different gains can be attained by doing only bhakti to Vishnu. So that's why bhakti to Vishnu can give everything. Akama sarvakama moksha kama. Even if you desire moksha also, it can give everything. Even if you don't desire, if you desire everything, and if you desire even the liberation, everything can be given. So that's why this sloka is telling that Yaya Sarvam Avapyate, by which everything is attained. So is supported actually, is supported and is established by this reference. Okay. So that's why there is no Avyapti dosha, because Bhagavata sloka is telling this definition is right. So that's why there will be no Avyapti dosha. So that means it is not covering the something, that kind of thing will not be there. Next, Ativyapti, that means sometimes Like example, what we define, bhakti means service we define. Service means thinking of the Lord. Thinking of the Lord is also service. Yes or no? Yes. Thinking of the Lord is also service. So there is one problem is there here. Ativyapti. Thinking of the Lord is a service. So that's why it is bhakti. But you can see in the ahangrahopasana. In ahangrahopasana, what the in ahangrahopasana the person will do? Person is thinking himself as Ishvara. So I have given ahangrahopasana means thinking oneself to be the Lord endowed with his Shakti. So that means I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is the example? So example is Poundrak. Poundrak is the example. He is thinking himself as a Krishna. So if anyone think himself as a Lord, who is endowed with all the potencies. So this is known as ahangrahopasana. So this is also thinking of the Lord only, na? Thinking himself as the Lord. So that means thinking of the Lord is involved in this also. So then, can we say it is also bhakti? So now you have to, your definition should not cover this ahangrahopasana. So you should make such a way definition, it should be excluded. Ahangrahopasana is not bhakti actually. We all know this. So that this activity which is involved in the ahangrahopasana, that should be excluded. So such a way you should make the definition. So for that, that's why in this definition which is given by the Garuda Purana, the word bhaktya is there. The word bhaktya is there. Bhaktya harihi tushyet. This word bhaktya is, you see, this is total is definition. This total is the definition. This sloka and this sloka. But this only little portion is the Tarsa Lakshana, but total is the definition and this is also definition. So that's why in this definition of the bhakti, so bhaktya word is there and that word is excluding the ahangrahopasana. In the definition, the word bhaktya restricts the definition to not to overlap with the ahangrahopasana. If bhaktya word is not there, just if we say, so yaya sarvam apyate, bhaktya is not there, then there is a chance to overlapping with the ahangrahopasana. But when the word bhaktya is there, that means service. But service, the word meaning of bhaktya is what? Service. So that service word is coming and now what it is doing? It is eliminating the ahangrahopasana. In the ahangrahopasana, there is no mood of service. There is only what? He is thinking himself as the Lord. So
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. Next, above definition is also free from asambhavana. What is asambhavana? Example I gave. So if you define a cow means it is an object which is having the wings. If you define like that, but having the wings, that Lakshana, that kind of characteristic you don't see in any cow actually in this whole universe. So, but if you define like this, then that's impossible actually. That kind of characteristic you don't see. So now we have seen the definition of the bhakti, that means by which everything is attained, and by that bhakti, so Hari will be pleased. And also bhakti means service. So like this, you define this definition. But who is approving this definition? Who is approving? Here the word budaihi. Budaihi is there. That means the wise men. Therefore, wise said bhakti means service. Who is saying? Wise people are saying. This definition is given by the wise people. So that's why, since wise people, they don't do any mistake, and Buddha means wise people. So based upon this, you can say that this characteristic, bhakti means service, this characteristic is always possible only because it is said by the wise people. So like this, we have seen the so the three defects are not there in the definition, which is given by the Garuda Purana, which is consisting of two different lakshanas. One is Tadastha Lakshana and another is Swarupa Lakshana. Yes. Seva or service. And further it is discussed. So service. So what is the Swarupa Lakshana for the Bhakti? Service. This service is done by which faculties? Seva or service is done by the three faculties, like body, speech, and mind. Since, so these are the three faculties we use to do service. Either we should use the body, or speech, or mind, or all, any two, or all three. Since bhakti is defined as service, here one more point you should understand. Here, bhakti is defined as what in the Swarupa Lakshana? As service. Service means what? There is a favorable mood. So that means what? There is no activity which is done out of the fear. Maybe that activity also looks like service, only. Just remembering the Krishna is also service, but it looks like service. But if it is done out of the fear, not with the servitorship mood, then it should be excluded. But in the definition of the bhakti, what we are saying? Bhakti means we are saying service. Service means which is done by the favorable mood. That activity which is done with the favorable mood. But if any activity done but with the out of fear, out of the anger, that is already anger, and out of the hatredness, or out of the ahangrahopasana, all those are excluded. So any activity done by all these moods is excluded when you say bhakti as service. So that is the point. Since bhakti is defined as service, so fear, hatred, ahangrahopasana, and so on are eliminated. All these are all eliminated. So anukulyena krishnanuselanam. Just for your further information, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, Rupa Goswami is defining the bhakti. So that is the total definition is meant for what? Suddha bhakti. But the second line, what I said yesterday, it is for the Swarupa Lakshanam for the bhakti. Yes. That definition and this definition is same actually. You can see here. Anukulyena Krishnanuselanam. This is the Swarupa Lakshanam for the bhakti. Here, what is said in the Garuda Purana? Bhakti means seva. So, there in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Krishna Anuselanam. Anuselanam, Shelanam. So, Shelanam means Sheela. Sheela means Cheshtarupa and Cheshtarupa, or otherwise Bhavarupa. Cheshta means activity done by body, either by body, mind, or speech. So activity done by body or mind or speech. Anu means continuous. Continuously. activity. Okay, bhava rupa, you leave it. This is actually it needs even a whole big class actually. You take Anushilanam as either chesta or bhava. You take only chesta now. Because discussing everything, it will become completely a big discussion and also in a new topic. It's time consuming. So Anushilanam can be the chesta or bhava. Anyone. Anushilanam can hold the two types of meaning. You can leave the bhava rupa, take the chesta rupa. So for time being. So when some other classes will discuss that. Bhava rupa also will take and discuss. So Shelanam means chesta. Chesta means activity. Activity done by body, mind or speech. So to whom? This activity done for whom? Krishna. This activity done for the Krishna with what? With the favorable mood. What is the meaning of favorable mood? That means this activity which you are doing either by body, mind or speech, that's continuous activity. So with favorable mood, that means you are doing this with the favorable mood means you are not doing this activity for Krishna out of fear or out of anger or out of some force, anything. So you are not doing this activity for him out of these moods, but you are doing anukulyana means with favorable. That means you are doing this activity for Krishna favorably means with the service mood. This is the way Rupa Goswami defined. Here Jiva Goswami, what he is saying, in the Garuda Purana, bhakti means it is made from the word bhaja, and bhaja is carrying the meaning of seva, and that means bhakti means seva. Seva means what he is saying? Seva word itself. Seva means any activity. Seva means any activity done by seva means you should produce seva. Seva means activity. It is done by what? Body or mind or speech. It is done by either of this. But this activity is what? Seva, na? Seva means that activity done with the favorable mood only. So that means doing the activity out of fear, anger, force, all are removed, all are eliminated by just the word seva. So that's why seva is containing anushilanam and also anukulyata. So that's why here you are seeing the similarity. That means you can say Sarup Lakshanam for the bhakti as anukulyana Krishna anusilanam or otherwise seva, simply seva. Both are same. Okay. But to make this activity, that means to make this activity into the pure bhakti, what you need? You need two more things. What is that? Anyabhilashita sunyam.
Jnana karma.
Jnana karma janavrata. This also you need actually. Because you are doing continuous activity for the sake of the Lord with the favorable mood. If you say this much, will it become the pure devotion? No. You might be doing this activity continuously towards the Lord, where out of the motivation, that means out of the getting the position or getting the money, you are doing by using your body or mind or speech activity towards the Lord with the favorable mood, for the purpose of what? Gaining the material results. So that's why giving pure devotion means, if you say Anukulya and Krishna Anusilana, this much, if you say, this much is not sufficient to define pure devotion. You need to add something, because if you define like this, pure devotion, what problem is coming? Ativyapti is coming. It is covering the unnecessary things also. The activity done by the out of the material motivation. So that is also coming under the Anukulya and Krishna Anusilana. That also then become pure devotion. So that's why you to eliminate the activities which are done for the Krishna with favorable mood, but for the material gain. So you should eliminate that activity. Then you should keep the Anyavilashna Sunya. So now, is it sufficient to make the pure devotion? So this much definition also is not sufficient, because there is some error is there still. Now next, Jnana Karma Janavrutam also is need to be added. Why? Let us take some X person is there. So we have 24 hours in a day. Yes. 24 hours are there in a day. So let us take, this is the night 12 o'clock. And this is the night 12 o'clock. There are 24 hours in this. So if to do pure devotion, purely devotion means what? This person has to do 24 hours activity either by the body or mind or speech, which is related to the, which is towards the Krishna with favorable mood, without any desire, without any other motivation, Then he is in the platform of pure devotion. But if someone is doing in between, that means he is chanting 2 hours, he is also taking prasadam, and also he is hearing the Bhagavatam and taking prasadam. Then after that he is doing the some slot of time karma. That means to maintain this body, identifying himself as a, so that means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or otherwise husband or wife or someone, identifying himself as a person, so who can, that means as a material designation. So Sarvopadi Vinirmukta, he is not Sarvopadi Vinirmukta, he is having Upadi. I am a husband and I should maintain my family, or my wife, or my this, or my that. So then out of this, or rather I am Kshatriya, I am Vaishya, I am Sudra, I am this, I am that, identifying himself as Upadi and he is doing that activity. So for the sake of what? So for the sake of his body. And that activity itself is not bhakti actually. Because he is doing, maybe he may offer the result of this activity to the Lord. But that activity done by the body or mind or speech is not directly, that means the devotion. That means Shravanam, Kirtanam, or Vishnu Smaranam, or Pasyavanam, so on. So then, what is his consciousness? His consciousness is identifying himself as a person, as a material designation. Out of that he is doing. And after that he is doing once again hearing, chanting, which is that activity is towards the Krishna. So then what will happen? In between, that means some karma. You can say this is also, this person also is doing the bhakti only, na? So in between karma he is doing, and but he is doing the bhakti only other time. Then what is happening here? In this slot of time, the Krishnanusilanam is not satisfied actually. So that's why, that means pure devotion is not satisfied. That means pure devotion means purely it should be devotion only. It should be devotion only. There should not be any karma or anything. So that's why you should remove all this karma, or otherwise if someone is practicing jnana or yoga or something, all this should be also removed out. So that's why how you should define pure devotion means that activity he is doing whole day 24 hours doing some activity either by the mind or body or the speech. So that activity to become pure devotion, what it should become, that activity should not be done on the bodily platform at any instant of the time. That activity should not be done on the bodily platform, or otherwise that should not be, that activity should not be karma or the jnana. You're understanding this point. So then only that is known as purely devotion. So that's why to bring this clarity, jnana karma dhyanavrutam is also added. So that means here jnana karma dhyanavrutam means 24 hours. Jnana and karma, jnana karma the sunyam, jnana karma dhyanavrutam. These are the two words are there. You should carefully understand. Jnana karma the sunyam. That means if he is not at all doing any jnana or the karma, then this is known as jnana karma the sunyam. And jnana karma the anavrutam means even if he is identifying himself as body and doing the karma, at that time also if he is able to remember Krishna, or otherwise at that time also he is doing that continuity, that means that activity which is towards the Krishna is continued in that time also. Like example, Bharata Maharaj. So while doing the yajna also, he is doing so many yajnas. At that time also he is remembering the Krishna. Like the Pandavas, even he is ruling the country, so still they are all the time 24 hours remembering the Krishna. That means remembering Krishna, that means thinking about the Krishna, that means activity done by the mind is continued. So that's why even they do karma, that means being identifying himself as a Kshatriya and he's ruling the country. So that means he's doing the karma on the bodily platform, but at that time still he is always remembering the Krishna. So that's why the activity of doing the directly devotion to the Krishna is not broken actually. So then that's why he is doing the what? Purely devotion only. Of course, there is sometimes he is doing the karma, but at that time also thinking of Krishna is there. Like example, Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yudhya Cha Bharata. What Krishna is telling to Arjuna? Oh my dear Arjuna, even at the time of fighting also, you might be identifying yourself as a king and warrior, and you might be doing the fighting. Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu. That means in all the time. Tasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara. That means you always remember me. You always remember me and Yudhya Cha, and also fight. So see, fighting is not an easy thing. Even if you rapt attention, if it is not there, if you negligent for even a single moment, so enemy will shoot the arrows and finish. So such a crucial thing actually fighting is. And even in that kind of crucial thing also, he is asking what? Krishna is demanding what? You should remember me all the time. You should not forget me. So like Prabhupada also says, my chanting goes 24 hours. So to become Krishna consciousness means 24 hours Krishna consciousness. Even in the sleep, you should remember the Krishna and do the service. Service to the Krishna, making the Rasagulla in the dreams for the Krishna. So that means to become pure devotion, what should happen? That activity towards the Krishna should not be stopped by any other activity like jnana and karma. So doing activity to Krishna means one is identifying himself as the servant of the Lord and doing the directly activity for the Krishna. What are those? Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, all the 64 items which are explained in the nectar of devotion. All these 64 items are what? Are the directly devotion only. So those activities has to be done the 24 hours. then he is in the purely devotional platform. Sarvopadi vinurmukta. That means he is freed himself from all the kinds of the material designations and doing the identity, all the freed from all the material designations means what? He is not identifying himself as a body and doing the activity and offering that. No, that is not recommended. He is identifying himself as a servant of the Lord, and on that platform he is doing. If you do activity identifying yourself as a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or Vaishya, as a farmer, and you do the agriculture, and if you offer that result to the Lord, so then that is not purely devotion. So because the connectivity directly to the Krishna is broken actually. Karma is coming in between actually. Karma means which is done on the bodily platform. Okay, so this is just I'm giving a little glimpse, but actually we will be discussing more and more further in the different types of the bhakti we are going to discuss. So in that place we'll be discussing further, and we will establish so all different types of bhaktis by discussing all different types of bhaktis. We will be establishing the whatever fact we are discussing now, that we will be establishing by discussing all the different types of bhakti. So that's why now to understand this thing very clearly, that means Anyabhilasha Sunyam Gnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukulyani Krishnanusilnam, we should know what are the different types of the bhakti. So to only the purpose of studying the different types of bhakti is to understand this definition clearly. Okay. So this is the basic explanation I gave. So we'll be discussing this again actually. Okay. Maybe
Prabhu,
one
I
or
have
two
a
questions I will
question.
take here.
Yeah, I have
One
a
or two
question.
questions. Yes, Madhu.
So, Prabhu, you mentioned that it should be in a favorable mood, free from
Hmm.
fear, anger, and force, or out of hatred. So, my question is, you suppose you are performing arti for the Lord, but you have a fear of not performing any mistakes. It is favorable. It is meant for pleasing Krishna, and you are doing using your body, mind, speech. But then you have some fear that you are you don't want to commit any mistakes, for example.
That
So
is different, no? So that is attention actually. That is not the fear. That is known as attention. It's not the fear.
and sometimes you if suppose you are at the altar and you are standing before the Archavigras of the Lord, you have some kind of reverence or a kind of a fear. So that if somebody is having, so what do you then is it not falling inside the category of devotional service?
No, that is not the fear, Mataji. First of all, that is only the attention, carefulness. Why we have to fear? So attention, so will help us to do the service more properly. That is a favorable mood only. Fear means example is, so Kamsa is the example for the fear. So he is remembering the Krishna out of the fear. He may come and kill me. That is the fear is discussed here. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
Hare Krishna,
Rambhadra
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, the criteria for devotion to be ananya is that continuity should not be broken.
Yes.
So that jnana karmadi anavritam takes care. So as long as we are doing our conditional duties, that means it can get covered.
Yes.
And until we cross the conditioning, then where we are constantly doing constitutional activities like Mahatmana Sumam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashita Bhajante Ananya Manaso Yatva Bhutam. Until we come to that platform, then the devotion will be not Ananya Bhakti. This is one I wanted to know, Guruji.
Yes. So yeah, that's why the definition Sarvopadi Vinirmukta. So one should be Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So that is the beginning of the devotion of the sadhana bhakti. We already discussed. That means Ado Shraddha. Shraddha means what? Shraddha means surrenderance. Surrendering to the Lord. Surrendering to the Lord means what? So we are just sarva dharma parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So if you are surrendering to the Lord and also surrendering to the body, then this is not the surrenderance actually. Surrendering to the Lord only, mam ekam. So that is the symptom of the Shraddha. If one is having the Shraddha, means surrenderance is the symptom of the Shraddha. Once the surrenderance is there, Sarvopadi Vinirmukta is happening. Then in this platform, one will be so continuously. That means, of course, he might be having the some kind of anarthas. Definitely anarthas might be there. Like Sukrutota, Dushkrutota, anarthas might be there. But he has full understanding that Lord is only the supreme personality of the Godhead. And Lord is only my ultimate goal. And Bhakti is only the ultimate mean. And nothing else is the savior for me. So such a understanding he got. That understanding is known as Shraddha. That kind of faith he got on the Lord. And the symptom of that faith is, if you check whether I have faith or not, that shows the surrenderance. So surrenderance shows the level of this Shraddha. So as much as one surrendering to the Lord, that much Shraddha is having. So how the Shraddha, so okay, so then one fully surrenders to the Lord and always he does that means devotional activities. That means on the platform, he's staying on the platform of the servant and trying to do, of course, anarthas are there, they try to capture him. So these anarthas may try to stop this bhajan actually. His bhajan means what? Trying to glorify or worship or serve the Lord. So service to the Lord. That may be stopped by these anarthas till the time what? Nishta. Till the time those may try. So once the anartha nivrutti happened at some level, at the good amount of level, then steadiness will come. Then this bhajana, this service is continued. So these are the stages. But before getting the full surrenderance to the Lord, one is in the stage of in the developing the Shraddha only. That is known as Adav. Adav means developing so Shraddha actually. So in the Adav stage, what we are going to do, we are associating so in Adav stage, what is happening? One is associating with the devotees and trying to hear about the glory of the Bhakti and trying to hear about the Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is doing the Bhakti, he is studying the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and the devotional scriptures and understanding the glory of the Bhakti. So by this, what will happen? His Shraddha also increase. Of course, this is also not only Shraddha is increasing, so his anarthas also so extent is keep on going, but Shraddha is keep on cleared. So, but when he developed the full Shraddha, that means Purna Shraddha. So then he is in the stage of Shraddha. He is in the stage of Shraddha, and from there, so bhajan, he will be doing all the time, 24 hours, he will never stop. That means at least he will be endeavoring to do devotion 24 hours. 24 hours. Prabhupada also says 24 hours to become Krishna consciousness, 24 hours. So then that is the bhajana kriya actually. So there sadhu sangha is there. That sadhu sangha is there to do the bhajan actually. In the association of sadhus, so one try to do the bhajan. But before this Shraddha, Adav is there. There also sadhu sangha is there. In that sadhu sangha, we will be doing the association with the devotees to develop the Shraddha. That's why Satam Prasangat Mama Virya Samvido Bhavanti Hurkarna Rasayana Tajoshanad Ashu Apavarga Vartmani Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishati. When we sit in the association of the devotees and keep on studying so going through the glories of the Lord and glories of the Bhakti, then what will happen? Shraddha will be produced actually. Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishati. Shraddha will be produced. So once this Shraddha is reached to is peak, that means full Druda, when it becomes strong. So when it is becoming strong, then he is understanding that I don't want my family, my country, my this, my that, but I want to do fully service to my Lord. 24 hours I want to do service to the Lord. So then this kind of situation comes, then that is the beginning of the bhajan actually. Before that also we are doing the bhajan. So that will be lifting us by improving our Shraddha actually.
Yeah. Prabhuji, then this verse, Jata Shraddha Mat Katasu Nirvinna Sarva Karmasu refers to Purna Shraddha only there, right?
Yeah,
Nirvinna
Purna
Sarva.
Shraddha. Yes, that Shraddha is equal to Purna Shraddha, clearly written. Yeah.
Okay. Another
Anyway,
thing,
so
Prabhuji.
yeah.
Another thing is when pure devotees who are doing pure devotional service like Maharaj Bharat or Parikshit,
Yes.
although they might attend to conditional duties, but
Yes.
because they have transcended the conditioning, it doesn't cover their bhakti, right?
Yeah, that is the point. Jnana karma dhanavritti means that's a parinishtita bhakti. To set example to the others in the society, they might be doing some kind of activities on the level of body platform, but that is just to set example to society. Even at that time also, like Arjuna, even he is doing the fighting, but he didn't stop the remembering the Krishna. Even in the night time also, his heart is always remembering the Krishna. So Prabhupada also mentions how to do this 24 hours bhajan, because even we are sleeping in the night time. So someone asked in the night time how to do this bhakti, and Prabhupada said in that, what is the reply? So he's saying that, so in the night time, in the dreams, you are getting the dreams. In the dreams, you should make rasagullas for the Krishna. You do the service to the Krishna. Worship the Krishna. Like that he said. So that is the bhajan actually. With that kind of surrenderance, bhajan starts.
Yes, clear.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. So we will take the definition of Anya Bilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Janavruta Anukulan Krishna Anusilam once again. So don't think that this is only the final class. We'll take this definition once again after discussing the different types of the bhakti. So might be not clear for the many devotees. Don't worry. So please hear the next. That means with different types of the bhakti. Then we will understand. The more clarity will come. Okay, let us continue our types of the bhakti. So now what we understood, the basic Swarupa Lakshana for the bhakti, general bhakti is what? Saiva. And the Tadastha Lakshana is the Yaya Sarvam Avapyate, by which everything is attained. So this is the Tadastha Lakshana. So for the bhakti. Bhakti means all the karma mishra bhakti, gnana mishra bhakti, this bhakti, that bhakti, all the bhaktis are considered as bhakti only. So all bhaktis are covered. So because even in the karma mishra, like you see, example, if you do karma and you offer the result of this karma to the Lord. So now this is also bhakti actually. This is also bhakti. But we want pure bhakti. So like this, how many types of bhakti are there? That we will understand. Then we will identify what is pure bhakti. So, okay. There is one more place. Tadastha Lakshana and Swarup Lakshana for the bhakti is defined in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 34. So here, Evai Bhagavata Prokta Upaya Hyatma Labdaye Anja Pumsam Vidusham Vidhi Bhagavatan Hi. This is the, actually, I don't know why this became like this. Evai Bhagavata Prokta Upaya Hyat. Oh, so it's one word only, sorry. Upaya Hyatma Anja Pumsa Avidusham Vidhi Bhagavatan Hitan. Even ignorant living entities can very easily come to know the Supreme Lord if they adopt those means prescribed by the Supreme Lord for their benefit. The process recommended by the Lord is known as Bhagavad Dharma. So here what is said? Ignorant living entities can very easily come to know the Supreme Lord. Even ignorant people also can come to know. By what? if they adopt those means prescribed by the Lord. Bhagavata proktaha. That means those means they should take up. So by taking up those processes, what will happen? They will get the Lord. They will get the Lord. If they adopt those means prescribed by the Supreme Lord for their benefit. Atma labdhe means for their benefit is written. The process recommended by the Lord is known as Bhagavad Dharma. This process, whatever the means to get the benefit, so whatever the means are set by the Lord is known as Bhagavad Dharmas. So in this sloka, what is Tatastha Lakshana and what is the Swarupa Lakshana is said here. Atma labdaye proktaha. That means spoken by the Lord to attain self-realization. So if you define those means as what? Spoken by the Lord to attain the self-realization. If you define like this, then this definition for the Bhagavad Dharma, Bhagavad Dharmas are those spoken by the Lord to attain the self-realization. If you define Bhagavad Dharmas, that means Bhakti like this, then this is the Tatastha Lakshana. But if you say those means, the means to attain self-realization, if you say means is nothing but what? That activity. So then this is what? Swarupa Lakshana. So like this, you can find the Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana in this way. Atma labdaye proktaha. That means spoken by the Lord to attain self-realization. This definition is Tatastha Lakshana. The means to attain the self-realization. This definition is Swarupa Lakshana. Because it means, because these methods constitute the essential nature of devotion. Those methods are there. Now, those methods are here said actually. Methods for self-realization, if you say, then those methods are the mentioned here. So then that's why it is Swarupa Lakshana. Okay, this is just an extra point. If you are getting fine. Okay. Next. Yeah, Archana Bhakti Mataji.
Spoken by the Lord should be within the Swarupa, isn't it? Why is it Tatastha Lakshana?
Because Mataji, Atma labdaye proktaha. So how you are defining the Bhagavad Dharmas? Atma labdaye proktaha. Those which are said for the getting the self-realization. Those are the Bhagavad Dharmas which are spoken by the Lord for self-realization.
Yeah.
So, so like that, if you define, so then what is happening here? Atma labdaye proktaha. That means which are meant for the, which are spoken by the Lord for attaining the self-realization. Here, means are not mentioned in the definition. Means are not mentioned. Those are spoken by the Lord, that's all. Spoken by the Lord. Okay. So, this is the things which are spoken by the Lord. The definition how you are giving, spoken by the Lord. This is the definition you are giving. So then Bhagavad Dharmas, for the Bhagavad Dharmas, this definition will become Tatastha Lakshana. And the means, if you mention means, then it is Swarupa Lakshana. Okay, now.
Prabhu, one small thing. These words exactly, they are not there in the words you quoted above, right, Prabhu?
Here is there, na? Proktaha Bhagavata. Atma labde. Proktaha Atma labdaye. Is there? Atma Proktaha Atma labdaye. And Atma labdaye upayaha. Atma labdaye upayaha. Is there, no?
So it is broken and given in two parts. So it includes both the things. That means it shows both the Tatastha Lakshana as well as the Swarupa Lakshana. That
Yes.
means it's the means and also it's the outcome also. I mean, how do we
Outcome of
understand
bhakti.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
outcome
so
is bhakti only. So because here ultimately you can define bhakti using Sarupa Lakshana and also using Tatastha Lakshana. But the outcome should not lead to some other new thing. So it is happening in the case of the Rupa Goswami's definition. But it's not necessary that everywhere it should happen like that. Okay. In the Rupa Goswami's definition, Anukula and Krishnanuselanam is the Swarupa Lakshanam for the bhakti, and Anyavilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Dhyanavritam is the Tatastha Lakshanam for the bhakti, and both together are becoming the definition for the pure bhakti. But that means that is modifying actually. Anyavilasha Sunyam and Gnana Karma Dhyanavritam, these two are the modifiers. They are modifying the Anusilanam of the Krishna into such a way, then finally only purely bhakti only remaining. All gnana and karma and which is done for the material motivation, all are eliminated actually. Purely for Krishna, so directly devotion is remaining actually. In the Rupa Goswami's definition. Here it is not necessary to happen everywhere like that. You are getting?
So here there is overlap of both the Swarupa and the Tatastha Lakshana. That means
Those two are individually telling about bhakti. Okay. In the Garuda Purana definition also what we said. Swarupa Lakshana is seva and Tatastha Lakshana is the by which everything is attained. So here by which everything is attained is not modifying the seva. Na? So that's why we are not bringing out any new definition actually. That total is not becoming the definition for any new thing. Okay.
okay.
First of all, you understood the Swarupa Lakshanam for the bhakti.
In this particular verse, you're saying? So
Not in
the
this
second
particular
thing
verse. In the previous, you can leave this verse if you are not able to understand. But in the previous verses, you understood in the Garuda Purana verse.
Yes.
What is that Swarupa Lakshanam?
Service.
Service. And according to the Rupa Goswami, what is the Swarupa Lakshanam? Given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu?
Which is favorable to Krishna. Krishnanushilanam.
Anukulyana Krishnanuselanam is the
Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam. Yes.
Anukulyana Krishnanuselanam is the Swarupa Lakshanam for the bhakti. Swarupa Lakshanam for bhakti, general bhakti. Okay. Then there the Rupa Goswami's intention is what? He wants to define pure bhakti. So general bhakti's definition is Swarupa Lakshana for the general bhakti is what? Anukulyana Krishnanuselanam. Same thing even Garuda Purana also said by the word seva. Seva is equal to Anukulyana Krishnanuselanam. This you got or not? Yes. We already proved that. So now, but Rupa Goswami doesn't want to define only bhakti. He wants to define pure bhakti. So for that he needs two more modifiers. If you say, if you want to take in the school, there are the boys and girls are there. If you say, if you want to invite only the boys into the room, into the classroom, then what you should say, you cannot use the word students. If you say all the students can come, then everyone will come into the room, even boys and girls also. But if you want to stop girls not to come to the room, then what you will make? Only the male students should come. Male is a modifier. If you use students, everyone will come. So similarly, if you say Anukulyana Krishnanuselanam, if you say everything will come. Even Karma Mishra Bhakti, Gnana Mishra Bhakti, this Bhakti, that Bhakti, everything is Bhakti only. Because ultimately everything is service. You are doing karma for the service of the Lord is also Bhakti only. But that is not, but Rupa Goswami doesn't want to prescribe that for us. If you do karma, that means some farmer is there and he is producing the food grains and he is giving that to the Lord. So this activity is known as bhakti or not? This is also bhakti. If you say Anukulena Krishna Anusilna, this is also bhakti. This is also Anukulena Krishna Anusilna is satisfied here. But we want this kind of activity Krishna. Rupa Goswami wants to recommend for us? No, he wants to recommend purely bhakti. So that's why he used two modifiers. Anyabhilasha Sunyam. Next one is Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. That I explained in a fast manner. Maybe some might be couldn't understand, no problem. So we'll discuss once again. So yes, Archana Bhakti Mataji.
Prabhuji, just one more clarification on this point. So the Tatastha Lakshanam is always a modifier of the Swarupa Lakshanam?
No, that is the point I am saying. It's not necessary to become a modifier for the Swarupa Lakshanam. It can be independent also. But here in the case of the Rupa Goswami's definition, Acharya Vishwanath is clearly saying that both are definitions for the bhakti. One is the Tatastha Lakshana and second is Swarupa Lakshana. But this Tatastha Lakshana is modifying the Swarupa Lakshana, and so that we are getting the as a resultant devotion.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So there are the three types of bhakti. Time is over. So Aropa Siddha Bhakti, Sangha Siddha Bhakti, and Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. If you understand now this Aropa Siddha, Sangha Siddha, Swarupa Siddha, then what I am shouting that you all understand. Actually, okay. So let me define all this. So in the next class, tomorrow's class, we will discuss this. Then you will understand. Once again, I will come to the Anyabhilasha Sunyam. Don't worry. That is the crucial point for our devotional life. If we understand that very clearly, then we can have hope actually in progressing in the devotion. Okay. This is only just a beginning. Okay, Yadavpati Prabhu, huh? Who is that? The Yadav.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask, how do we relate this word ashram duty? Can we relate word ashram duty with reference to pure devotional service?
No, Varnashrama is on the bodily platform. Pure devotion is always on the soul platform actually, and not only just a soul, on the position, constitutional position, that is a servant. So identifying oneself as servant. If you identify yourself as a Brahmana Kshatriya, means you are identifying with the body. On that platform, if you do activity for Krishna, then it is not pure devotion. So that's why if you offer the activities which are done by the through the Varnashrama, so whatever prescribed duties you are having, if you do those activities following the rules and regulations of the Varnashrama, and if you offer that to the Lord, it is also devotion, but it is not pure devotion. Okay. Next, Saraswati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, I want to check my understanding, Prabhuji. Tatastha Lakshanam is the product of the Swarupa Lakshanam, Prabhuji.
No.
Swarupa Lakshanam is the means and Tatastha Lakshanam is a product. Like that, or it can be individually.
No, Mataji, why you are coming to the starting actually. What we said, Tatastha Lakshana means if you describe the object with those unique qualities which are not in the Swarup of that object. Example, he is a prime minister. Modi is prime minister, if you say. Who is Modi means prime minister is Modi, if you say. So prime ministership is belonging to the Modi only. So in this whole India, you can identify Modi as the prime minister and you can differentiate him. That person you can differentiate with the title prime minister. Prime ministership is belonging to the him only. Is it in the Swarupa of him? From the birth, he is the prime minister. Eternally, he is the prime minister. No, nah. But that qualities belong to him only, nah. That is there for only for some time. So then, if you define the Modi with the word prime minister, then this is what Tatastha Lakshana.
Yes, Prabhuji.
But if you define Modi means he is having this kind of body and this. That means in the bodily platform, I am saying you people should not go to the Modi means soul and soul is not having any. That philosophy I am not discussing. That is another thing. Just in the material perspective, I am telling. So Modi means such and so and so body.
Swarupa
Okay.
Lakshana.
That is Swarupa.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Radhanuga Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as you said that a devotee should be 24 hours in devotion. So
Yeah, in
when
the
devotee,
constitutional position, he should
okay.
endeavor all the time to be in the constitutional position, not to
Okay.
identify himself as material designation.
So Prabhuji, when a devotee has to go out to work, what should be his mood while going out and working in this karmic, like all this world outside? What should be the mood of a devotee at that time?
He should, like how Arjuna is doing. What mood Krishna is recommending for him? Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara idhyacha bharata. You should always remember me, my dear Arjuna.
And Prabhuji, when we are going out and earning, we should not think about money, that what we will earn or what we will get out of it. It was just that we are thinking that we are doing it at Krishna's will. Because of his will we are going out, or because of, how do we differentiate it's our desire or it's Krishna's will?
That you should know, Mataji. Because if we are doing to set example to society, but you are always in the pure devotional platform, 24 hours you are able to remember the Krishna, even working in the corporate or even working in the outside, then he is a pure devotee only. That's how we can judge actually.
We should have introspection of our own, like
that's why this knowledge will be given for all of you to introspect only, not to apply on others, to judge others.
Okay, Professor. Thank you.
Yeah, so we should introspect, and actually we are really like that or not. So now maybe, so I love my child, I love my child. So always in the bodily platform, you are identifying your love for child is dominating your constitutional position. Of course, you might be so in the devotion, but you are in the beginning stage only. So that who will decide? So he himself has to decide, or otherwise he can apply this knowledge to help his followers or his disciples. But we cannot apply this to the others and judge who are not concerned, who are not related to us. Yes.
So Prabhuji, we should not have attachment to any of a relation, so that we don't govern them, or we don't,
Ultimately, one should uplift his chetana to. Because if you are also having attachment for your family and your house, and you will go back to the Godhead.
No.
So then one should completely develop fully attachment to the Krishna. Maybe it is looking difficult, but that is the goal, na?
Yeah, we have to identify a relation with Lord actually, not with the people in this material world.
Yes. Then when you are fully situated in that consciousness, then that is the favorable stage for doing the bhajan. With that bhajan, all anarthas will go out.
Thank you so much.
But we might be in the bodily platform, but we should not over element for that. That's why we should develop Shraddha. What is Bhakti? We should understand. What is the Swarupa of the Suddha Bhakti? We should understand. So what is Suddha Bhakti given by the Rupa Goswami? That should be clear. So even that is the 2 lines. Anyabhilasha sunyam gnana karma janavritam anukulam Krishna anuselam. But it is having a lot of meaning.
Prabhuji, Jnana Karma Navritam means the other part of it. Jnana Karma Navritam.
Gnana karma jana, the activity, whatever we are doing to the Krishna, that's Krishna anuselanam, that should not be interrupted by the Gnana or the Karma. That means we should not shift our Chetana from the spiritual platform to the bodily platform and do the activity.
So, Prabhuji, whatever little seva that we are able to do for Krishna, it is only to please Krishna and not to attain any like any gyan or anything out of it, no desire, no our personal
No,
desire
that is
should not
different.
be there.
That is anyabhilasha sunyam. But you are identifying yourself as a some so and so. That means karma means so like a patni dharma, like putra dharma, like pati dharma. These are all what? Is the karma or the bhakti? These are all
Karma.
coming on the bodily platform only, na? Patni, you are becoming the patni to someone on what platform? Spiritual platform or bodily platform? Bodily platform.
Bodily.
So that's why if you do activity or responsibility on this, is the bodily platform only. But we want to ultimately raise ourselves from this platform also. But it should be done very in a systematic way, not in an abrupt way. One time we heard and okay, I left everything. It's not like that.
Yeah.
So that's why continuous association of sadhus is needed to develop our full shraddha towards the Lord. So if anyone wants to leave, they can leave. Official class is over. So tomorrow we'll discuss the different types of the bhakti.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Abhiram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam Prabhu.
Okay, if this may be not related to the class we are giving, but you are telling bhakti, varnashrama is not pure bhakti, but how we can practice?
Yes.
Why we have to practice, Prabhu?
Why we have to practice, that we'll see. That is also very important. Good question you are asking. Why we have to practice varnashrama? Because varnashrama means you are varna and ashramas. We are having these Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra on the bodily platform. These categories are done on the bodily platform, not on the soul platform. Because every soul is servant of the Lord. So that's why there is no divisions in that platform. But Brahmana, Kshatriya is divided based upon the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So why this is needed? This kind of classification, for whose case it is working, that we'll understand in the next course, not in this course. Because we will understand in this course only what is pure devotion. So that is also very important actually. Whoever is not in the platform of pure devotion, they should follow the varnashrama dharma just to uplift them to the pure devotional platform. So that is a mean to raise, because if that is not there, if you don't follow the systematic, the system given by the law to uplift ourselves to the purely devotional platform, to develop full shraddha. So there is a difficulty actually. There is a difficulty in raising to that purely devotional platform. So for that, it is a helping tool. It will be very important. That we'll discuss in the coming next sections, Prabhu.
But our acharyas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they also performed varnashrama and then attained pure devotion, Prabhu.
Parinishtita Bhakti, and the Dhruva Maharaj did after getting the Lord's Sakshatkara. After that also he was following that means ruling the kingdom for 36,000 years. He ruled the kingdom. But if you see, Prabhupada is writing in that purport, 24 hours he is remembering the Krishna. He never forget Krishna. And also Bharat Maharaj, Pandavas. Bharat Maharaj, all the time he is chanting. Even he is doing any official kingly activities, at the time also he is chanting. So that Anusilanam, Krishna Anusilanam, that is not stopped actually. That's directly, that is completely free from that Krishna Anusilanam is completely free from any karma. It is not, so any karma is not stopping. Completely the bhakti only is done. Directly devotion only is done. So that's why the word Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam is very important there. That means direct devotion to the Krishna should not be stopped by any Jnana or Karma. This word is given, this point is said by the word Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. That means pure devotion is stopped, pure devotion is continued.
Not stopped. Okay, Prabhu.
So Parinishita Bhakti, they say, only to set the example to society, they may platform, in the bodily platform, they may act to show the example. That is known as Parinishita Bhakti. But their pure devotion is not stopped. their Krishnanusilanam is completely free from the Gnana and Karma. That's why it is pure devotion.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah. Rambhadra Priya.
Krishna Prabhuji. This is based on one of the questions which one Mataji was asking, that how when we are outside working, in what consciousness we should work. I wanted to put it as a question that as long as we are not in full consciousness of Krishna, our consciousness will be material, even though we are practicing some basic angas of bhakti, like morning Mangalarti, chanting, reading Bhagavatam. But when we are doing some activity to maintain our body, at that time the consciousness cannot be full Krishna, because we are not fully Krishna consciousness. So we are having the conditioning. So Varnashram is the best platform through which we can, is the best vehicle by which we can go to Ananya Bhakti?
Yes, Prabhu. That's good thing. So because we are in the bodily platform, definitely. So to reach our goal, that is to become fully Krishna consciousness. So this vehicle will help, because mode of passion and ignorance, influence of mode of passion and ignorance is less. Because the activities are done according to the scriptures, as based upon the Shastra, which are recommending. So based upon the recommendation of Shastra, since we are performing our activities, this will help us, that means to be in the mode of goodness, and that will help to understand the glory of the bhakti. That means to get the, that means knowledge about the bhakti, that means understanding, clear understanding. Bhakti is only the ultimate mean. So that understanding we can get very quickly, since we are situated in the mode of goodness. So, but when we associate passion and ignorance heavily, then what will happen? So there is what is the goal to reach the pure devotional platform? What we need? We need to develop the Shraddha. For developing Shraddha, what we should do? We should always try to be in the association of the devotees and discuss about the glories of the bhakti and discuss about the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. That means, so the position of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So that is the Bhagavatam is discussing very clearly, is establishing the glory of the Lord and the glory of the bhakti. So that's why Bhagavatam continuously one has to rigorously has to hear and develop this Shraddha. So for that, he should be in the mode of goodness to understand the subject matter. If his mind is always agitated by the passion and ignorance, then it will be very difficult actually. Then it will be very difficult to understand the subject matter and get the faith. Then after that, that is symptom of that faith is surrenderance. Then he will be so allowing himself to do bhajan 24 hours.
Yes. Prabhuji, another thing I wanted to clarify.
Yes,
Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Bhakti Tattva Vivek, he says that as long as one doesn't come to the stage of Asakti and Bhava, his Bhakti is not Ananya. Till then, he is practicing Abhas Bhakti. Abhas Bhakti means it's not pure devotion, it is Gyan or Karma Avrita. So, how do we understand this?
So, but if you see now, Prabhu, this Madhuri Kadambini, there, I don't know actually, to be frank, Bhakti Tattva Viveka, I don't know clearly that book, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained these 9 stages in the Madhuri Kadambini clearly. So he was telling that till the Nishtha, before the Nishtha, because of anarthas, maybe sometime, so one may come to the, that means Dukko Darkan Jushamanas Kaman, Dukko Darkan Jushamana. So he might be enjoying the material desires for the moment, and but immediately he will take him back to his position of, that means doing the 24 hours direct devotion. And that's why there is some instability is there, but he didn't say that karma, gnana karma janavritam, gnana karma di avritam. So there is a mix of karma and gnana, because whatever these 9 stages are said by the Rupa Goswami, those for the sadhana bhakti only. Only sadhaka only is doing. Oh, no? Sadhaka is doing what? Pure devotion only. Sadhana bhakti is also pure devotion. Sadhana bhakti is not the karma mishra bhakti. Karma bhakti, mishra bhakti is not called as sadhana bhakti by the Rupa Goswami. Your understanding point, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. But then even in that case, we don't fit in the sadhana bhakti category because sadhana bhakti has to be performed 24 hours then.
Yes. Yes. So if you see the category, Rupa Goswami, what he said, after defining the Anyabhilasha, that means pure devotional service, this is three types: sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti. So the condition, whatever he gave, Anyabhilasha, Sunyam, Jnana, Karma, Janavaratam, it is applied to the sadhana bhakti also. Yes or no?
Yes.
According to Bhakti Rasamrita. So that's why, and that sadhaka is having these 9 stages. That means sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anarthani vritti, nishta, asakti, bhava. That means whatever he is doing, that should be the jnana karma jnana vrittam. Already we said, na, sadhaka also is doing the. You are understanding the point?
Not really that clear, Prabhuji, because then everyone will fit in the category. Those who are practicing now sadhana, everyone will fit in the category of Ananya Bhakti. But if you see the explanation, then everyone is coming in the other stage, not Purna Shraddha stage.
So what is the problem, Prabhu? If everyone comes under the Ado stage, what is the problem?
That's what, then none of them fit in the category of sadhana bhakti also then.
No, Prabhu, why not? So see what Rupa Goswami is saying, Anyabhilasha Sunyam Jnana Karma Janavritam. He said, na, this.
Yes.
This is for what? This is for the sadhakas or not? This condition is applied to the sadhakas or not?
Yes.
So Anyabhilasha Sunyam Jnana Karma Janavritam Anukulyani Krishnanuselanam. This is applied for all the sadhakas.
Yeah.
So that means sadhakas, whatever activity he does, that should be Jnana Karma Janavritam. He cannot do the Karma Mishra Bhakti or Jnana Mishra Bhakti. His activity, his Krishnanuselanam, should be definitely free from the Karma and Jnana. Then only it is purely devotion. Sadhana Bhakti is also pure devotion.
Yes, yes, Guruji, but continuous remembrance with either body, mind, or words, that criteria doesn't fit sometimes, even as sadhakas. We don't fit in that category.
That's why, till the Nishta, they are failing, but they should be doing.
Okay.
That unsteadiness is there, till the Nishta.
But again,
but
now.
The full surrenderance is the beginning actually of the.
So but that's what this Nishta stage will apply with Purna Shraddha only. So then.
Nishta, Prabhu, Ado Shraddha itself is a Purna Shraddha.
Correct.
So Purna Shraddha, if we do, Purna Shraddha is the basic criteria for the sadhaka.
Okay. Then this is equivalent to Jata Shraddha, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Sudrida Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kare Sarva Karma Krita Hoy.
Yeah, first and second.
Yes, yes. So then this is Madhyamadhikari platform then.
Yeah, Madhyamadhikari, at least one should be Madhyamadhikari to enter into the sadhana.
Yes, yes, clear.
That is given by the Madhuri Kadambini, na? In Madhuri Kadambini, so Kanishtas no, actually.
Clear.
Kanishta is not in the sadhana stage. He is trying actually.
Okay, clear, Puji.
Any other questions? Okay, anyway, definitely you will understand further many things. So we opened the discussion of this bhakti. Next class we'll discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much for kind and patient here.
Hare Krishna,
yes,
can I ask?
Yes, Mataji.
Sorry, when you're concluding, I'm just asking you, Prabhu, I just had a doubt about this shloka, which we say, Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmanava prakrite swabhava karomi yatit sakalam parasbai narayanieti samarpyami. So what does it exactly mean that whatever we do with by our speech, words, or by our action, we do it for Krishna exclusively, or whatever services as a different ashrama we are in, we do, but subtly we are dedicating it to Krishna.
So you are doing whatever you are doing by the body, mind, and speech, everything you are offering to the Krishna. That's fine. So here the point is you have to understand so many things here. Whatever you are doing by the body means whether you are identifying yourself as body or not.
Prabhu, I'm sorry to interrupt. I understood, Prabhu, with all the so many people, devotees asking questions, I purely, thoroughly understood what was pure devotional service. And what our Rupa Goswami is trying to say that, it's what is pure devotional service. But because you are bringing the subject matter of Arjuna in between, that how Arjuna was fighting, but he was always thinking of the Lord. So it is pure devotional service. So how we can apply that in our practical lives?
So that's why we have to raise our fatma, because we don't have that much shraddha and the bhakti.
Okay.
So if we something is said like someone said, if you want to get a post some job, you should clear the exam. You should clear exam, you said. You are saying that I don't want to clear exam and how I can get job?
Okay.
Already someone gave the condition to get the job, you should clear the exam.
Yes.
But you are saying that I don't want to go for the exam, but how I can get job? You want to bring the standards of the bhakti to our level, or we should raise our level to the standards of the bhakti?
We have to raise the standard.
Why he gave definition there? To measure our situation and raise our level to that. Then we are fit to that. So Prabhupada says making one pure devotee is also, if I did, it's my success.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, I'm just prolonging it. It must be late for you. But last query, I can continue with my query tomorrow.
No problem.
But Prabhu, like we can understand that because Krishna personally instructed Arjuna to fight, and he carried out Krishna's instruction and was thinking of Krishna, it's pure devotional service. So when we follow our Guru's instruction and live by that, is that also pure devotional service?
Actually, Guru, whatever, that means he will also say what Rupa Goswami said. Whatever Guru say, that means, for example, so someone is beginning to the Krishna consciousness. Okay. So Guru said that you chant 4 rounds and you come to the Sunday program and you do this.
Prabhu, please talk about initiated devotees, Prabhu, who are dedicated.
Okay, dedicated. Okay, 16 rounds you are doing. So, okay, so 16 round minimum, he said. Okay, he said minimum, not the maximum. So, and do at least Mangalarti and this and this. So ultimately, the process, whatever is given to us, should lead to the condition given by the Rupa Goswami. What do you mean? That means Rupa Goswami is not giving the right direction for us. Why the Guru will be instruct the candidates based upon his situation.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that whatever he said, that is only the enough and I will not do anything. You do that and you ask Guru, so what I should do next, then he will take next step.
Okay.
So ultimately, Guru, scriptures, and sadhus, everyone should meet the condition given by the Rupa Goswami.
Okay.
Otherwise, there is no need to study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Okay. No,
Why
but
we
I
have to-
thought time, place, and circumstances plays a role, of different
actually
ages.
time, where it is said actually in the time and place and circumstance, pure devotion will change. The definition of pure devotion will change. Where it is said.
Prabhu, yeah, of course, the definition of pure devotion will not change, but
Then-
the sadhana level will change, Prabhu. Like maybe
Actually-
like for previously it was 64 rounds minimum, but then Srila Prabhupada was merciful to make it only 16, like
Because
that.
the intention is he wants to raise the level. So because the majority of the society is like that. So he gave this procedure, and it's the beginning of the devotion. It's not the ending of the devotion.
Okay,
So
Prabhu, I accept.
because the people are more caliber, so then previously 64 are there as a minimum. Now people caliber is reduced. Then he'll keep this 16 and start from here. But this is not the ending, na?
Correct.
Prabhupada didn't say that 16 is only the maximum and you should not do more. He said that minimum you should do.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu, I accept.
Time, place, and circumstance based upon it, few things will change, but the principles of the primary principles will not change.
Okay.
You cannot change the time, place, and circumstance. Sun will rise on the west side. It's no.
Okay.
That is some things
Yeah.
are the definition of pure devotion. Even in the Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, in any Yuga, that is the pure devotion only, because you can see the establishment of pure devotion in the Sota Goswami's teachings, and even before that in the Kapil Dev's teachings, even before that you can see in the Sanat Kumara's teachings. The definition of pure devotion is not given by in this Kali Yuga, in this today, no. That's example you say, you take Sai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhakti Radokshaja Ahaituk Adokshaja Ahaituk Pratihata Eyatma Suprasid.
Okay.
Ahaituki is representing the Annavilasha Sunyam. Apratihata is representing the what? Jnana Karma Janavrata.
Okay.
So this definition is given by whom? Sota Goswami. When? 5,000 years back.
Yeah.
Even if you now today in the next coming classes you'll be seeing the Kapil Dev's teachings also. Kapil Dev was there in the Satya Yuga. He was also saying the same definition for the pure devotion. Because we are establishing this pure devotion based upon the Bhagavatam, where it is having the collection of the past tense which happened in the different yugas, in the different kalpas.
Okay.
So that's why those principles will not change.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhu? I think Prabhu's there, or he got disconnected.
Hopefully,
he's
I
there.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's there.
connecting. He's connecting
Yeah.
now. Yeah, connecting. No, I think so. He couldn't able. Yes, he is connecting now.
Actually, my power is off, so
Yeah,
that's why
I think so. There is
recording
a
is.
power cut. Yeah, Prabhuji, is there a power cut?
Yeah, power cut in Mayapur, actually.
Yeah, that's
Prabhu,
right.
Prabhu, thank you so much. I have noted your points, but I'll ask you again tomorrow in the end of the class.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
The
Prabhu.
beginning of
Dandavat
our
Pranam.
discussions.
Yes, sir. And Prabhuji, one
Okay.
thing I want
Hare
to just
Krishna.
add it on, that there is an Lakshana Bhakti, and that is an attainment, though we do not have any interest over it. But because we are attaining something, that's why we are that Sarupa Bhakti. From that Sarupa Bhakti, we are attaining something. That's why we are here to speak it up about the Bhakti. So that's why that all that our Gosamis and all of that we could able to. So the Lakshana Bhakti, I think the whatever the Lakshana, that is the Lakshana, is also very important to improve our sadhana. Isn't it, Prabhuji?
I'm not understanding your words actually. I don't know. Lakshana, you are saying, what is that Lakshana? Sorry, actually. So you are saying Tatastha Bhakti or Takshana?
Yeah, Tatastha Bhakti, that is Lakshana, that is Lakshan. Tatastha Bhakti, that is the attainment, whatever we are attaining, something is also very important in Bhakti. Isn't it, Prabhuji? That improves our sadhana. So we are not focusing over that attainment, whatever we are.
Yeah.
Yes, no,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
but we will discuss further more.
Yes.
More
Thank you,
in the
Prabhuji.
coming
You have
classes.
given us so much time,
Hare
and it's
Krishna.
very important getting to the discussions. Thank
Hello.
you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, we'll end the session here. Thank you very much for kind and patient here.
Yeah, have prasadam, Prabhuji. It might be late for you. Yeah.
Vancha kalpatrubhya kripa sindhubhyo cha pattanam pavane. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhakti Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.
His Grace Venu Gopal